Today, I have ventured out of Edinburgh's Old Town and across the North Bridge towards the New Town. Before the North Bridge was built, you had a very steep hill to descend and to ascend, which was extremely inconvenient. But the new bridge is a most stupendous work. It is thrown over this immense valley, and by having no water run under it, you have the full effect of its height. From the bridge itself, you have a fine view up and down the vale, and the prospect through the middle arch is inconceivably beautiful. And not long ago, part of this bridge gave way, and many people who were upon it sunk into the chasm and were buried in the ruins. And many others who were likewise upon the bridge saw the fate of their unfortunate companions without being able to assist them. All was terror and consternation. Everyone fled from this scene of death as fast as possible, expecting the bridge to sink under them at every step and themselves to be crushed to pieces. And so great was the fear it occasioned amongst all ranks of people, that there are many of them who look upon it with terror, even to this day, and make it an objection to residing in the new town that they must necessarily pass over it. As Edinburgh is situated on the borders of the sea, and surrounded by hills of an immense height, currents of air are carried down between them with a rapidity and a violence which nothing can resist. The new bridge is the chief scene where these winds exert their influence, being thrown over a long valley that is open at both ends, and particularly from being balustraded on each side, admits the wind in the most charming manner imaginable, and you receive it with the same force you would were it conveyed to you through a pair of bellows. However, it is far from unentertaining for a man to pass over this bridge on a tempestuous day. In walking over it this morning, I had the pleasure of adjusting a lady's petticoats, which had blown almost entirely over her head, and which prevented her disengaging herself from the situation she was in. In charity to her distress, I concealed her charms from public view. But one poor gentleman, however, unfortunately forgot his own hat and wig, which were lifted up by an unpremeditated puff and carried entirely away. The new town itself has been built upon one uniform plan, which is the only means of making a city beautiful. Great parts of this plan, as yet, remain to be executed, though they proceed as fast as supplies of money will allow, and the individual houses will remain unbuilt until the plots of land are purchased by the would-be residents. The greatest part of the new town has been built after the manner of the English, and the houses are what they call here houses to themselves. Yet, such is the force of prejudice that there are many people who prefer a little, dark, confined tenement on a 6th story to the convenience of a whole house. One old lady fancied, "Me would be lost if me was to get into such an habitation." But different as these sentiments are in regard to living, they are not more different than the buildings themselves. In no town that I ever saw can such a contrast be found betwixt the modern and ancient architecture, or anything that better merits the observation of a stranger.